Good morning. Good morning. God be with you. I am Phinney from St. Vasilios Church in Peabody. Today I come as St. Gregory. Our grandmother was St. Macrina. Our mother was St. Amelia, who had 5 children who became saints of the Orthodox Church. St. Basil became an archbishop, and he made me a bishop. We hope you will enjoy our visit. I would now like to introduce to you my brother, St. Basil.
Good morning, children. I'm Matthew Chigas from St. Vasilios Church, and I'm St. Basil today. Does anybody know anything about St. Basil? No? Okay, good. Because that's why we're here. So, as St. Gregory had said...
The reason he got his name because in his grave they found a plant, a herb growing, to be precise, basil growing.
Thank you. Okay, good. Maybe we can refresh your memory today. Does anybody else know anything? Okay. Well, St. Basil was born in 330 in a place called Caesarea Cappadocia, which is now in Turkey. And as St. Gregory had said, he had 4 other siblings, all who became saints, because their grandmother, St. Macrina the Elder, and their parents were all very religious people, and made sure that their children were part of the faith. And St. Basil is best known for defending the creed that we all say in church, right? Does everybody know what the creed is? Yeah. Do you all remember saying it just now in church? Well, it's because of St. Basil's defense of that creed that we have it still today. And he also made sure that when we say the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, that the Holy Spirit stayed as part of the Holy Trinity, instead of just the Father and the Son. He also established monasteries and wrote a special code for how monks should live in monasteries. And he established things called philanthropic societies. Does anybody know what a philanthropic society is? Or what philanthropy might be? Anybody? Well, philanthropy is simply known as sort of loving your brother or loving the people around you. So St. Basil's philanthropic societies helped. There were hospitals and shelters for the homeless and for the elderly, which now, of course, we all have today, but those were started by St. Basil. And he also was one of the 3 hierarchs, as we know with St. John Chrysostom. And they are the hierarchs because they are some of the greatest teachers that our faith has. That's why St. Basil is known as St. Basil the Great. He came to be known as the Great not because of earthly things or earthly powers, but because he was a strong teacher of the Scriptures and doing God's work on earth. So, does anybody have any questions about St. Basil? Remember, you're going to be asked questions by your teachers in Sunday school classrooms, so if you have any questions at all. Does anybody know what Vasilios is? Yeah. All right. Right there.
Like Easter bread?
No.
That's
No,
okay.
it's not. But that's good. That was very close. Does anybody else know? It's a holiday very close to Easter, a few months before. He's on a good track. What is it? That's okay. That's okay. Does anybody know? It's close to Easter. A few months before, at the beginning of the year.
Christmas.
No.
A little bit after, a few days later. New Year's. On New Year's, it's St. Basil's bread or St. Vasilios' bread. And inside there's a coin baked into it. And if you find the coin inside, you're said to be blessed or lucky because of St. Basil. But St. Basil's bread is eaten on January 1st, not only because that's his feast day when he died, but because in Greece, that's sort of like their Christmas. When we get presents from St. Nicholas, who you're going to meet in a little while on Christmas, all the little children in Greece get presents from St. Vasilios on New Year's. Okay? So that's all. I thank you. It was very nice to be here.
Let's give him a round of applause. So St. Nicholas is next. And now who's our church named after?
St. Nicholas.
Good thing you know that one. Yeah. All right.
Good morning. I'm Alex Santangelo from the Weston Church, St. Demetrios Church in Weston. And I'm here as St. Nicholas. Now, does anyone know what St. Nicholas is called right now in the present day? Right there, you were first.
Santa Claus.
Exactly. Now, does anyone know where his name Santa Claus came from? You know? You know?
Santa means saint.
Close. So Santa Claus comes from Dutch settlers who came to America, and they called him Sinterklaas, which is Saint Nick in their language. And the people in America, the English-speaking people who heard this, made it sound like Santa Claus. So that's how he got his name, was Santa Claus from the Dutch. So, but it is still the same person. Now, does anyone know how Santa Claus, the story of Santa Claus came to be, how he became who he is today? Well, it's a great, do you know? Exactly, that's very good. So, yes? Exactly. So, Saint Nick was a very giving person in his time. He was born in Turkey, and he was the Archbishop of Myra in Turkey, and he came from a very wealthy family in Turkey. So, he was very humble with that wealth. So he would use it in very good ways, and he would give it to people. And one very famous story was he heard of a man who was very poor, and he had 3 daughters, and the daughters were trying to get married, and the father did not have money to pay for their dowry. Does anyone know what a dowry is? Yes? Exactly. So it's necessary for a wedding to occur in the olden times. The father of the daughter who was getting married would have to pay or give money to the husband. And this man did not have the money to do so. So St. Nicholas heard about this, and there's some different versions of the story. One version has St. Nicholas throwing 3 bags of coins into a window during the night. Another version has St. Nicholas throwing a bag of coins into the window the first year, then the next year throwing another bag of coins, and then the last year the poor man wanted to know who was giving him all these gifts because he wanted to thank him. But St. Nicholas, being very humble and not wanting the thanks, decided to sneak to the chimney and drop a bag of coins down the chimney. And that night as well, it happened that one of the daughters was hanging her stocking on the chimney, and the bag of coins fell into the stocking. So that's where we get this, that St. Nicholas brings your gifts in the stocking. So Santa Claus gives you gifts in your stocking on Christmas. That's where that story comes from. So does anyone have any questions about St. Nicholas? And, okay, so that's good. But I guess I would like to say, in the spirit of St. Nicholas, as Christmas season's approaching, I think it's really important to get into that St. Nicholas' spirit in the way that he really gave humbly. And maybe not necessarily, you don't need to give gifts necessarily, but giving your time to people. Or if you see someone sitting in the lunchroom and he has no one to sit with in the cafeteria, he's sitting in the cafeteria and there's no one to sit with, going to sit with that person and be nice to people and really give yourself and give your time, because that's really the spirit of St. Nicholas, and it's very important as the Christmas season approaches. So if there's no more questions, thank you.
Thank you.